Rachel, the story of Jacob's beloved wife and mother of the nation of Israel. Rachel is one of the most remarkable and beloved female figures in the Bible. Her story is closely tied to that of the patriarch Jacob, and through it, we are introduced to profound themes such as love, perseverance, pain, faith, and the fulfillment of divine promises. Rachel was not only Jacob's wife, but also the mother of 2 of the 12 sons, who became the fathers of the 12 tribes of Israel. She is especially remembered as the mother of Joseph, one of the most important figures in the history of the Hebrew people. In this video, we will explore Rachel's life in detail, understanding her historical background, her personality, the challenges she faced, her achievements, and the legacy she left behind. Historical and family background of Rachel. Rachel was born in Haran, a city located in the Mesopotamian region, and was the daughter of Laban, the brother of Rebekah, Isaac's wife. This means Rachel belonged to Abraham's family, the patriarch of the Jewish faith, giving her an important role in God's divine plan for the people of Israel. Genesis 29, 16-17. In Rachel's time, societies were patriarchal, and women's lives were often limited to domestic and family roles. However, the biblical narrative shows that Rachel played an active and essential part in the story of salvation, even in the face of the difficulties and limitations of her time. The encounter with Jacob, love at first sight. The story of Rachel and Jacob begins in a beautiful and symbolic way. Arriving in Haran, fleeing from his brother Esau, Jacob meets Rachel at the well, where she was watering her father's sheep. Genesis 29, 9-10. This encounter is described as a moment of love at first sight. Jacob immediately falls in love with Rachel and embraces her, showing the strength of his affection and his desire to build a life with her. Jacob's love for Rachel would become one of the most notable aspects of his life, as he worked 7 years to win her hand in marriage. This deep love is one of the first examples of true romance in the Bible, demonstrating that human relationships, even in ancient times, were filled with deep and sincere emotion. Marriage and Laban's deception. Rachel and Jacob's relationship, however, was not free from challenges. Rachel's father, Laban, decided to deceive Jacob by giving him his older daughter, Leah, as a wife instead of Rachel. After the 7 years of work, Jacob had completed Genesis 29, 25. This unexpected switch forced Jacob to work another 7 years to finally marry Rachel, showing his effort and dedication to be with the woman he loved. This episode also reveals existing family tensions and the complexity of relationships at the time, as well as marking the beginning of a conflict between the 2 sisters that would influence the entire family's history. Rivalry between Rachel and Leah. After the marriage, Rachel faced another major challenge: her rivalry with her sister Leah. While Leah was blessed with children quickly, Rachel remained barren for many years, which left her distressed and sorrowful. Genesis 29, 31-33. This situation led to jealousy and disputes between the sisters, who competed for Jacob's love and attention. Even though Rachel was loved by her husband, she felt insecure for not being able to fulfill one of the most valued roles in that culture: motherhood. The rivalry between Rachel and Leah, although painful, reflects the social and cultural pressures that women faced, and shows how barrenness was viewed as a shame and an obstacle to marital happiness. The suffering of barrenness and Rachel's faith. For years, Rachel prayed to God, begging for a child. Her sorrow was deep, as she desired to become a mother and continue the divine promise made to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Genesis 32:1. Rachel then gave her servant Bilhah to Jacob, so that she could bear children in Rachel's name, a common practice at the time, but one that reflected Rachel's anguish and anxiety to have children. Genesis 30. Despite this, God heard her prayers and finally gave her a son, Joseph, who would become one of the most important figures in the Old Testament. Genesis 30:22-24. Later, Rachel had another son, Benjamin, but during childbirth, she experienced complications that led to her death. Genesis 35:16-19. Rachel as mother of Joseph and Benjamin. The legacy of the tribes. Rachel is especially remembered as the mother of Joseph, who played a vital role in the history of the people of Israel. Through his faith, wisdom, and loyalty to God, Joseph saved his family from famine, ensuring the survival of the Hebrew nation in Egypt. Genesis 37:39-50. In addition, Rachel was the mother of Benjamin, the youngest of Jacob's 12 sons, and founder of the tribe of Benjamin, which also had great importance in Israel's history. Genesis 35-16-18. Thus, despite the hardships she endured, Rachel left a lasting legacy as the mother of the tribes that would become the people chosen by God. Rachel's death and the family's mourning. Rachel's death was a moment of great sorrow for Jacob and the entire family. During Benjamin's birth, she suffered fatal complications, and before dying, she gave her final breath. Genesis 3:5-18. Jacob, deeply grieved, wept for his beloved wife and buried her in a specific location along the road to Ephrath, which is now known as Bethlehem. The mourning for Rachel's loss shows the deep love between her and Jacob and marks a pause in the narrative, which later continues the story of the family and the people of Israel. The importance of Rachel in the biblical story. Rachel is a character who teaches us about the power of true love, perseverance in faith, and courage in the face of adversity. Her life reflects the challenges faced by women in her time, but also shows how God acts through difficulties to fulfill his promises. She is an example of a woman who fought for her dreams and who, even in the face of life's pains, did not lose hope or trust in God. Additionally, Rachel is a symbol of the beginning of the formation of the people of Israel, as her children were part of the foundation that gave rise to the tribes that formed the nation. Lessons we can learn from Rachel. Rachel's story offers important lessons for spiritual and personal life, faith and perseverance. Even in the face of barrenness, Rachel did not stop praying and trusting in God. True love. The love between Rachel and Jacob is an example of devotion and sacrifice. Courage to face challenges. Rachel faced rivalry, pain, and death with faith and determination. The importance of legacy. Rachel understood the importance of leaving a spiritual and family heritage through her children. Rachel in culture and religious tradition. Rachel is revered in various religious traditions, including Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Her story is told with reverence, and she is often seen as a model of a virtuous woman, a devoted mother, and a faithful wife. In art, literature, and oral traditions, Rachel is celebrated as a symbol of love and faith, and her tomb in Bethlehem is still a site of pilgrimage and prayer. Conclusion. Rachel's eternal legacy. Rachel is much more than a biblical character. She is an inspiration for all generations. Her life shows us that, even in the midst of great challenges, it is possible to maintain faith, love, and hope. As Jacob's wife and the mother of Joseph and Benjamin, she directly participated in the fulfillment of God's promises to Abraham, becoming an essential pillar in the history of the people of Israel. Through her story, we learn that God works in each person's life, using both joys and pains to fulfill his purposes, and that true love can overcome any obstacle. If you identified with this inspiring story, don't forget to share this video with someone who needs to learn about Rachel. Turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, and leave a like. We'll see you in the next video with more inspiring stories like this one.